Generic greetings and welcome to Deep Space Industrial. Today's beverage is a nice cup of lemon tea, very tasty indeed. So once again, we're checking out another Introversion prototype. This is, I believe, the 6th release as part of the Introversion Crystallase Fail Masterclass, a series of prototype releases and videos where essentially they detail what they've been working on, what worked, what didn't work, and I guess ultimately why they stopped pursuing the project and then moved on to other things. This is, as I said, I believe the 6th release in that series. As always, links will be in the description, not only for the store page, but also for their video as well, where they go through and explain a couple of things and what worked, what didn't work, and why they stopped it. But I wanted to just check it out and show you a little bit of it. This is not a sponsored video by any means. I've paid for this with my own generic units of currency, but it is something I don't mind signal boosting because all proceeds do go to War Child, so there's that. Either way, I'm going to show you a little bit of the game, and I do stress a little bit because it's quite an expansive game, I think, and one of the more complete that we've seen in this series. Either way, you can see we are in space next to this gas giant of some kind with some sort of storm going on over there. Either way, quite pretty, and you can see we have this circle here. This represents, well, it says trading post, obviously placeholder art and all that, and the idea is that we will be prospecting and gathering resources from these asteroids and then making factories and building up. So we've got, again, that whole factorial element to it, but let's just go ahead and go to workforce. I'm going to hire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 geologists, and what they'll do is they'll come out. You can see we can zoom in. They've got these guys with a spacesuit on and with sort of red backpack, and we can control those, and we'll just bring them over to this asteroid here, and we're going to right click on that rock, and what they're going to do is come over and they're going to start to mine that. So very simple to get that going, and they'll start to mine away, and then eventually we will sell it back, but we do need some gatherers for that, so we will get the gatherers. You can see that these are slightly different. These have green sort of backpacks there. The guys themselves, the workers, they actually remind me a bit of the StarCraft gatherers, the sort of Terran gatherers there. You can see that we're getting some silicate now, so they're just chipping away at this with little mining lasers, and I like the way that when they do the mining, they sort of get blasted back, so you've got that inertia there, and they have to then turn around. And you can see these other guys, they're coming along, picking this stuff up, and then they're going to essentially go here and sell it. We can go over to the market on the top left, and there's loads of stuff that you can buy and sell, and it ranges from very simple base materials, so things like silicate, metallic, or things like that, up to stuff you've produced like deuterium and helium-3 and circuits and such. But there's all an economy there which will change based on how much you buy and sell. So there you go, that is our guys mining. But you can think, well, that's a bit inefficient. Is there some way you can automate it? Well, as you might imagine, yes. So over here we have some rock. You can see it says metallic ore there. So I'm going to go over to our buildings here, and we're going to start to not just gather this, but also probably try to process it. So over to our mining rig. Again, this is all sort of placeholder art here. I'm just going to place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and say 6. That should do it for now. You can see each one of these requires, it says in construction, 50 metal, 10 mechanisms, and 10 circuits. However, because we don't produce those, we have to buy them from the market. I'm just going ahead and go to workforce and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are the metal workers. I believe they construct scaffolding, because you can build on this asteroid, but if the further you build off the end of it, they have to put scaffold because of the different heights. I'm just going to basically get a total of 5 each. Let's go over and check what those look like. So zooming out, and there they are. So there's our couriers, which they've got these massive backpacks on their back there, and there's some workers. You can see they've got like big claws on and such, so they're sort of grabbing stuff. And then we've got these metal workers, I think these are, which oh yeah, they've got little welders in there, little masks on their welding masks, which is fairly cool. And yeah, they're going to be cracking on with the scaffolding. So there's our mining rig. We need somewhere to store the stuff that they have mined. So over to building once again, and we're going to put a large silo in, I guess we'll put it in probably there. That should be fine. And then we need to process that. So do we need a refinery? I think we'll probably need one. I'm going to go with 2 refineries, put that back into a large silo, and then I think we can then put a factory on it. But we're not going to do that now because that's too much building. Oh, there you go. See this? So as we're coming close to the edge of the asteroid, they're putting in these scaffolding sections. Similarly, if I placed it here, they'll probably have to build the scaffolds, and that's a sensor. Yeah, the sensors and radars and railguns and gun turrets, because somewhere there will be pirates here. So yeah, we'll have to check those out in a bit. Anyway, the mining rigs are now in. You can see how many resources they have. So that's like 18,800 resources, 19,800, and the percentage which they're on top of. And you can see they're going, oh yes, we have a bit of a problem. It's flashing here because they're not connected to power. So let's fix that. Let's go to power. And we have solar panels, batteries, or RTG, which is a radioactive thermoelectric generator. But the problem with that is it irradiates everything around it, so not ideal. Anyway, let's go for solar panels then. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There you go. So all those have been constructed. You can see the refineries getting built. Those require circuits, mechanisms, and metal. So there you are. And looks like these are, yeah, all the scaffolding is getting put in, so that is fine. And I'm going to just press number 5 here. That's 10 times speed. So you can see they're all coming along and building this. So I'm not had to produce any of this stuff because I am instead just buying it. But you start off with 1 million generic units of currency, and I now have 907. So I've spent a fair bit there. You also may notice it says year 8, planet destroyed in 191 years. I'll come to the planet destruction stuff later on because that's part of, I think, one of the reasons why they dumped this thing. But anyway, let's go ahead and go to power, and I'm going to run some power lines across. You have to connect it to the red dot, which is something I didn't at first I didn't get. I thought, oh, hang on, why is that not connected up? Yeah, you can't just run it adjacent to anything. So let's just go ahead and do that, and we can see what the network is and what it's supplied by and such. That'll just run up, and I think we're going to run a power cable along there, and then one right up to here. Oh, hang on, that's wrong. So I'll just hold right click to get rid of that, and then there you go. Those are now working. So these are now gathering resources. You can see we've got these little sort of brown cubes or brown diamonds there to indicate that that's all done. So we'll need to connect these up. So over to connections, you've got ports which literally go from one place to wherever. So I can just go like that, and it automatically puts these lines in. And I love those sort of curved lines, the way it curves it round. So that's pretty good. See that? So you can just work over the top of this one, and there you go. That's all now put in. Job done. You've also got junctions which are like bridges which are just right next to each other, so if you want to do that you can as well. So that's now working. The refinery obviously isn't, so once again port, and we can just work our way around in it. I'm guessing there would eventually be a way to maybe clean up these wires, so yeah, connect that, and those are now in. So the refinery, if we click on the refinery, we can say scrap deuterium next. Ooh, actually that's wrong. I think I've got that the wrong way around. I'm going to buildings here. Furnace, that's what I meant to do. A furnace, not a refinery. So we will see if the demolish tool works. Can confirm it does. In fact, oh, look at all that. When we demolish it, all the debris goes everywhere. That's pretty cool. That's pretty good. I mean, it's loads of stuff we've lost, but there you are. Okay, back to furnace then. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3 furnaces. Furnace. And there you go. So once again, speed up to times 10 speed, where they'll crack on with that. Go over to connections, and that's now in. Oh, it also requires fuel. Okay, so what I'll do with that then is check out probably I think a small silo. So buildings, silo, that can go there, and then we'll connect up that to each of these furnaces. So 1, 2, and then 3. The furnaces from the bottom port will go there. I say the bottom port, there isn't port bits per se, they just connect up. So 1, 2. I'm guessing I could probably use a junction here. I could probably put these into a junction instead of like that, but there you are. That's now how it is. So those are now in. They've got metallic ore. It might be a little bit harder to see because of the absolute mess I've caused there, but I'm going to click on the silo, and I want to say for this one we want in fuel. So fuel is there, and I will say that actually that's it. So just say fuel auto order. So what will happen is they'll basically try to fill that up as much as possible. So close that, and then once again zoom out. We can see that over here we are still mining. That's cracking on there perfectly well. And over here, we have all of these guys buying and selling. The trading post has a certain storage capacity, and you can see it's sort of warping that away there. So that's automatically done. Good. While they're doing that, I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to set up probably some power, probably some RTGs. So 1, 2, 3, 4. They just automatically appear there, which is fine. We're also going to go to buildings, and then to a railgun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we'll have a radar and a scanner. I'm not too sure what each one of them do. You've got a sensor, a scanner, and a radar. I'm not too sure what the difference is because it doesn't tell me. I'm assuming the radar allows me to I just don't know. I was going to say maybe the radar. I know one of them allows us to see where the pirates are, but we shall see. Are they pirates or are they just a rival company? I think the original discussed theme on that video was them basically saying that, yeah, the idea was that you are a company and you are working to mine all this stuff out, but then that's where they have a bit of a crisis of conscience, crisis of identity, really, and then I didn't really know where it's going to go with, because now we have this sort of planet destroyed, and yeah, well, let's say discuss that later on. Either way, railguns are now in and are powering up. I assume these need ammo. Do these need ammo, or would you think railguns simply require... I mean, you could just put rock in it. I don't know. It says Network 1 demand. Is there an ammo? Is there such thing as ammo in the game? Let me have a quick look. I'll place a building in, a silo. I'll place the silo in here. And once again, speed up to ×10 speed. So the railguns are now in. These have been constructed. And the silo, we've got scrap, hazardous waste, loads of stuff, lasers. Oh yeah, railgun ammo. Okay, but I'm only going to put capacity as that much, and then auto order. And then we'll connect up all of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. So the railguns are now in, and that means that when we get any... Oh, enemies! See that? We've got a scout. So that cross there is denoting that there's some sort of presence here, and oh, it looks like on the left-hand side as well. See this? These are probably where they have it's a rival corporation to ourselves. Anyway, zooming back in over here, and let's see if this is actually producing anything. It is producing stuff. So we've got metal. So we are now producing metal, which is pretty good. I probably need a lot more furnaces. Probably need more furnaces, but oh, we got pollution as well. I think instead we'll go to probably buildings and a factory, which we'll put in here, and we'll probably build 2 factories followed by a large silo. And this is where it's going to be a bit of a test, because I don't know whether you can put in resources, multiple resources into one place. I assume you can, but you know what to say about assumption. Anyway, so we'll crack on with that one, and that is now done. The factory, if I say mechanism, can we make mechanisms? Yes, you can. Yeah, you can see that's actually producing mechanisms. It just says metal required. So circuits requires silicon. Electromagnet is metal and silicon. Ion engine. Railgun ammo. Yeah, we're just going to go with more mechanisms. Obviously requires power. So over to power. Run that up. And then across. And there you go. We are now producing stuff. Obviously all placeholder art. Haven't pointed out, but it should be fairly obvious. There's no music or sound, and there you are. That's now being produced. So what's this resource over here? This is ice, so we can do a similar thing. So over to buildings and to a mining rig. 1, 2, 3, 4. We will need a large silo. Actually, I think this is 2 bits of asteroid there that's sort of collided. So that'll connect up to that. We will need to then put it through a furnace. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then probably put it into an intermediate silo, which I think I'll just put in here, and then we'll do something after. I'll check later on. Power, we'll have solar. So oh, hang on, demolish that. Because of where the power connection is, you can't put them right next to each other like I did there. It just wouldn't work. So there's our solar. I'm just going to knock the speed up on this one. So there we are. And then we will obviously connect all of the power up. So run these cables across there and just run it down. And then sort of 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. That's already connected. Furnace requires fuel. So we will... I mean, this is where we could probably start to order them to move fuel from here over to this one, but I think it's easy enough to probably put in just another building, just a small silo there. But let's just connect all these up anyway to this large silo. So 1, 2, 3, and there's our ice. So we could sell the ice, because the ice is a decent commodity, but I think we're going to go with fuel. So this we want as fuel, set it as halfway, auto order. You can see in terms of money, we've actually not made any profit here still. We're still on 847,000, so we've overall not made anything, but you know, we are still setting this up. We're going to go to a bridge, and we'll place a bridge there and a bridge there. So it's just well, it is a bridge. It's literally not really one of these big ports. It's one of those. So that's now connected up to the silo. So we're now getting ice, and I'm going to assume that we can then get a refinery and place a refinery there and there, and then once again into a silo, which will go here, and then connect up this with a port, and then a bridge, 1, 2, and let's see what that does. I'm hoping that the refinery functions as intended, but oh, it does require some power, which is totally understandable. There we go. And is that going to work? Ah, so you can see the reason this is not functioning is because the silo has stopped. Gonna get more couriers. That's the problem there, is that we've run out of that. And also fuel. Fuel is, I'm guessing, expensive. So we're gonna go down and find fuel. Fuel 0 available. We've actually used too much fuel. There's nobody selling it. So we're gonna have to produce our own fuel, which is sort of ironically what I was trying to make here, because we would refine this ice. First we melt the ice into water. It goes through the furnace, and we produce, that says ice? Is that ice? Yeah, it says ice, but I want that to be water. And purge it. Oh dear. There we go. Anyway, so what would happen is we would melt that ice into water, and then we would, I guess, oh no, we'd need an electrolyzer. Electrolyzer would turn it into hydrogen and oxygen, and then we could probably create a refinery. Okay, I've done that in slightly the wrong order, but we have got a very good little view of all this spiraling out there. So yeah, we've got a little basic thing on the go, and this is where I really can't really show you much more, because we would have to eventually, and I haven't built any, eventually go for like a station and a shipyard, and eventually other ships would come along and basically dock and use us as a almost as it's been described in the video of the Introversion put out anyway, uses like a sort of petrol station where they would come along, fuel up and buy stuff from us and get things like oxygen and fuel and maybe any buying and selling of ores if it was quite cheap, and then they would take it away. And that's where the sort of the whole I think the original idea was we are basically a corporation, a mining corporation, and we would set up, like, say, bigger networks on these asteroids and work from there. But then there was a sort of a crisis of identity of, well, where would you go from there? And I think this is why, one of the reasons why they stopped it. They added in this idea of you have a colony, and this is the colony here. And that planet is going to be destroyed by some sort of cataclysmic galactic event in X number of years, the years being 179 years. And the idea is that you have to then get all of the people from this planet off that planet and somewhere else, which requires obviously the mining of all these resources and building. Not only that, but you'll have to defend against pirates and rival corporations, but also have to build the ships themselves, which I have no idea how to build, but there was like a ship builder where they would build a full spaceship using a similar system to this, where they would have different engines and such, and then you would travel on the galaxy map and go from one wherever you started over to any one of these things here, which is absolutely amazing when you consider they're all in here, which is fairly cool. And you can see all of the connections there, and they would have to warp away. And check on Colony there, that's New Terra, that's where we have to get to, and you would have to bring resources over to that. So you'd have to bring, you know, water and food and things like that. There's also research here as well, which I'm guessing I need to unlock some of this in order to get, like, say, that building. You've also got contracts there and the number of things that have been evacuated. So yeah, evacuated none. But that's not much I can really... Is there anything else I can really show? We've shown control where you can basically tell them what to do and move them around. We've scaffolding, that's literally being automatically done because you can basically build scaffolds like along there and out. We've built most of these here. We haven't built things like a ship dock, but we can say place it in the middle of nowhere if we really wanted to. We'll place it. Oh, actually, no, ship dock is there, so that's where they will dock. Oh, ship factory as well. Let's place both of those and see what happens. Oh, there's the electrolyzer that I mentioned. So this one over here is wrong. I would have to use instead of a refinery, an electrolyzer, and then work from there. Connection tools, we've shown most of those. Power, we've done most of that. There also is on this one here a fusion reactor, which is it requires fusion, and we just don't have one. And also a small fusion engine. This is for, I believe, the ship stuff. And ship here, we've got things like a station hub. You've got a shipyard, which you've placed over there. Large fusion engine, small storage tank, and you also have cryo bays, and that is, like I say, for when you are getting people from this planet and off. So yeah, that's the overall goal of it. There's also Mega here, which is fusion reactor and Omega gate. No idea. Ship dock here. You can say allow traders, allow landers. All right, okay, that's fair enough. And a ship factory. We can go with cargo ship. Oh yeah, so we can actually build that. Let me go to power then, and we'll say, I don't know, solar across there. Whoops, it's built now. Let's just connect that up, and there we go. And it says requires metal. We do have metal. There's loads of it just flying around all over the place, I think. Yeah, there's stuff there. Oh, metallic ore. Ah, no, there's no metal there. I'm just out of interest going to buy one of these. Hang on. Silo. Connections. Put the ports in. This thing, it's just taking a little while to make, but I'll speed it up. Job done. This requires metal. So, metal. Doesn't really matter what to buy. Don't really care, quite frankly. And what's this down here as well? This is our station hub. Okay. Requires power. Guess I could place solar like that. Oh no. Demolish that. You can see what's happening there is they're putting these scaffolds around. Just connect that up with power. There we are. And how are we doing over here? Currently doing nothing. Okay. How's that over there? Oh yeah, that's in. We've got a station hub now. I mean, I don't know what that does. Spawn load. Purge. Don't know. How are we doing over here? I've told them to get the metal. Oh! Right. So this... See all these? Didn't notice until now. These red guys here, these are pirates. The rival corporation, or whatever you want to call them. They're coming along, and they're nicking our ore. They're stealing it. So what's the range in our railguns? Well, that one's pointing at it. See that? That's pointing over. But I don't have railguns down here. If I had railguns down here, I would be able to shoot all of those. But at the moment, I don't. They're just scanning and nicking everything. Thank you very much. That is far from ideal. Okay, well, there you are. Let's just go to 20 times speed. Why are they not buying any metal? I'm guessing we're not able to buy anything. Metal? Metal. 700 available? Okay. Either way, it looks like you can then get these ships. But there's not much more I can really show you there without having to play many, many hours and obviously endure all of the typical prototype problems and bugs and whatnot. But yeah, the overall moment to moment is similar to a couple of things we've played, these prototypes. It is about building a production line where you get, you start from very low level stuff and essentially people chipping at the rock themselves over to automated miner and not really belt systems, but certainly connections going through different processes and managing the energy needs as well as checking out the market, then that will allow you to then progress on to bigger and bigger things, which can include having your own sort of space docks and then building ships. And I think even in that Introversion video, this is one of the times when I say if this has piqued your interest, then definitely check out the Introversion video, where because they have a lot more saves they can load, and they show you like the advanced stuff, where they have like a essentially a mag launcher where they use like basically like a railgun and shoot the ship off into elsewhere. But yeah, that's a bit of the game. I mean, out of all of the prototypes we've seen so far, this one feels the most complete, and I think that's because I think they did say they spent about a year on this thing. And I was watching it, and I've been playing a little bit of it. I'm thinking, why would this be abandoned? Because it seems like this could get into, oh, look at all these guys coming over to steal my stuff. This could, very easily be, pushed over that line to be something that I think people would be quite interested in. And I was trying to think, well, what is the main problem? I mean, yeah, there's, rough edges, and we can't really analyze it too much, it being a prototype, but I think, what is it in terms of the theme? You start off with this whole, I think, mentioning about being a corporation, but then going on to be basically saving humanity. Those don't really gel too well. Drop one of them. I think you've got something. Lean into one of them. Whether it be you versus a rival company that have to take over, and basically you could be buying them out and things like that. That I think could be a valid thing. Oh, hang on, look at that! Our railguns are firing. I say that, yeah, bam! Look at all them, all the railguns. I love all the particles and stuff that we get coming off that. Boom! What's that? Oh, they've got a combat bot. See, this is all in the game. We've got combat bots and other stuff shooting me back. Would there be a durability system in it where you'd have to start repairing things? I don't know. Would there be like wear and tear and maintenance to be done? As I said, the ship thing, you have to bring people, you put them in cryosleep and send them to another place. Whether or not they lean on that one rather than the corporation. So basically we have a certain amount of resources to save these people. But obviously there's other ones trying to steal those resources, and you could go down that route, and the theme would be, what are you willing to do to save your planet? Would you stab other ones in the back? Would you steal other people's stuff for it? Again, I think there's ways that could go there. I could understand, oh, look at that. Our courier's getting shot. Oh, he just turned into nothing there. Come on. Oh, yeah, railguns absolutely destroyed them. See that there? When they get hit, they've got I'm guessing that's oxygen leaking and stuff like that from the suits. Wow. But yeah, I could understand going to another system and having to start this again from ground up would be tedious, though. You would just go to a place and do more of this. So I don't know if there would be an automation on that, or whether you would just change the scale instead of it being galaxy wide, maybe just one system, where different mining asteroids here, but then we would go into maybe this planet and obviously be scooping up what's there, but then there'd be somewhere else that would have a higher level of a higher level of resources, for lack of a better description, where you would have to either bring them back for processing and do that, or perhaps build something on there, but then you'd have to defend it. And I think out of all of them, there's more game here than the rest of them, and more of a glimmer. And I think they hit the nail right on the head towards the end of the video, where they said, why did you stop it? I think the overall thing was, well, yeah, there's many things that worked and didn't work, and for various reasons, but basically got bored. There was nobody else really that enthusiastic about the project, so got bored and stopped. It's a terrible shame. I think maybe this one could be, out of all of them, the one to look back at, maybe with the benefit of time and hindsight, perhaps. But that's all I really want to show of the game. Yeah. Out of all of them so far, probably my favourite of all of them, which you would expect, it being the one worked on the most. That's been a bit of Deep Space Industrial. If you want to check the game out yourself, a link is in the description. As I said at the start of the video, this is not a sponsored video, and hopefully that guy's going to get absolutely hammered by my railguns. Yeah, yes, he is. Bang. And, oh yeah, Combat Bot made it out, but He probably won't last long when the railguns fire again. No, see you later. Absolutely destroyed. Yeah, not a sponsored video, but happy to signal boost because all proceeds do go to Warchild. I would say that if you are even remotely interested in seeing more of this, then check out the Introversion video. Again, links will be in the description, where they go through more of the high-level stuff, which I really can't show you here because I haven't got the, well, for a start, the knowledge of how to build all of the ships, and certainly haven't played enough and built enough in here to go down that. But either way, it is what it is. I would like to know what you think about the game in the comments, whether or not you would play something like this, what your take on, maybe improvements, what angle, what theme, anything you really would like to sort of put out there and discuss, and be obviously very constructive would be really nice to see in here. Either way, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.